Hi everyone, let's talk about Stock's new economics of migration. So this model and this theory is relatively new to the study of migration, and it implements a lot more factors to make the study of or the modeling of migration more realistic. The basic concepts are up here, the 1 to 4. Number 1, migrants consider the entire family, their households, when making the decision to migrate, not just their personal self-interest. So a lot of the times, it's much more realistic to think about your siblings, your children, your parents when migrating, because you might be in a poor financial position rather than your ambitions to get higher wages or get status in your job or something. Number 2, migration is a form of economic diversification. So maybe in your source area, the streams of income, you only have one, is very limited. Maybe it's agriculture, so you might have some issues with that. It's really risky to just have one. So in order to diversify, to have that insurance, you send someone to somewhere else, and in that case, they can send remittances back to support you if anything happens. Number 3, costs are spread out amongst the household. So because the decision to migrate is made by the entire household, the cost can be spread out amongst everyone in the household. So the financial burden on the migrant himself isn't really high, and therefore they are more likely to succeed over there. And that's how you are able to minimize your risk as well. Number 4, remittances are expected. So there is an obligation that because we've helped you grow up or something, you have to send remittances back in order to raise the living standards of the family of the source area of your family in the source. So these are the factors that migrants, their households might consider when making the decision to migrate or not. Number 1, investments. So sending someone uneducated to an urban settlement might be quite risky because they don't know anything there. They won't probably get high-skilled jobs or higher wages jobs, so it's not a lot of high return on investment. So what you do instead is you might educate your eldest son or eldest daughter, whatever, educate your son, your children, and that you should expect higher wages with better education, therefore greater remittances and higher return on your investments. So that's something they can consider if their children are educated or not enough to go to the urban settlements to get a good job. Second thing is insurance. Back to this economic diversification thing. In rural jobs especially, you might get poor harvest from droughts or something, so you lose your income, or because rural jobs, agriculture jobs are quite labor intensive, if you get disease, if you get an illness or you get injured, you just can't work for that time and you lose a lot of income, so you can diversify with remittances. Imperfect rural capital markets. So in rural areas, building societies, banks, anything that lends out money is really limited or just non-existent at all. So you have limited or no access to bulk funds. Bulk funds you need for education, you need for some emergencies, you need to build a house or something. And because you don't have any funds of that, people might consider if you need that. So if you do, you might send someone to get more money to get the funds quicker in order to make whatever you want to do. Next thing is social competition. So there might be a relative deprivation of income. So you compared to your neighbor or someone in your community, if they're earning more money than you because maybe they sent someone to give them remittances, you might think, oh, because I don't have that similar status anymore, I want to send someone out and to bring me the income to become much more closer in terms of income. And so even though you might be in absolute terms quite well off, if you are earning less or your family is earning less than another family, you might make the decision to migrate as well. Next thing is imperfect information. So a lot of the times the decision to migrate is done with very limited information, often relying on maybe stories, on newspapers and stuff. So it might be irrational and risky. So it's just up to how desperate they are or how much information they have to consider in order to migrate. Next is transaction cost. It's really expensive. Transaction cost is basically the cost of moving out, moving in, and also the journey as well. And it's really expensive, and that's why you want to spread out the cost amongst your family, and therefore it's much more realistic to think about a household in terms of migrating rather than just one single person. So this sums up Stark's new economics of migration. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.